Let's go. Now we're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Tell them, spam those W's. I need a W chain in the chat. First things first. W, w chain in the chat. Let's go. Drop the dubs. Drop the dubs in the chat. Let's go. We got a we got an ugly win, but guess what? A win is a win, baby. 2 in a row. The 49ers are 2-0 on the season. It feels fantastic. Obviously, we are going to get into all of it. Oh, we see the W's coming from Facebook. Oh, we deep on Facebook today. We see you guys on Instagram. You're saying my audio's not good. You're dropping W's. You can hear my audio. So we're lovely. We're lovely. Oh, we got Austria in the building. Let's go. We're worldwide. So we see the W's in the chat. Dubs are flowing in. Keep them flowing in. Let's go. We're smoking that fat Eagles pack, Nate. Light it up. Hey, after this live, we're all going to go together to Twitter, to the timeline, and just dunk on Eagles fans. Eagles fans were not happy about the statue video that came out of the situation in Philadelphia. They took the opportunity to literally try their hardest to ratio my tweet in that video. Well, guess what? We're coming for blood. So after these lives, everyone go to Twitter and we're dunking on Eagles fans. So now it's our turn to collect the dub after this. But let's get into today's victory. And just how everything came about. Again, it wasn't a very pretty W. It was a little bit tense. It was a little bit ugly. We had some injuries. Whole kinds of stuff came out of it. But let's really quickly focus on some of the positives. Although it felt like the offense was hard to get moving, Jimmy Garoppolo was still extremely efficient. Jimmy Garoppolo was 22 for 30. He got a touchdown and 187 yards. Now, he started out shaky. He started out a little bit off in regards to some of his accuracy, but once Jimmy Garoppolo was able to settle in and get loose and just let the game flow to him, Jimmy really started to pick it up. Shout out Kyle Shanahan for not bringing in Trey Lance, because again, these are one of the things that we really wanted to see throughout the season of having the two quarterbacks. What happens when one quarterback isn't in rhythm or isn't finding their rhythm? Are you just going to go back and forth? You're just going to go back and forth? Kyle Shanahan said, nope, we're leaving Trey on the bench. And as a result, that allowed Jimmy Garoppolo to settle in, get calm, and start making plays. If Kyle were to pull Jimmy and put Trey, and Trey started to struggle, it would have been a nightmare. So again, shout out to Kyle for not having that quick release, keeping Jimmy Garoppolo in, allowing him to settle, and then the offense started to pick up as a result. We're okay with that. The offense, in regards to the running game, it wasn't where we had exactly liked to see it or where we wanted to see it, but we knew going into this game that this was going to be a battle in the trenches. We talked about it nonstop. Offensive D line, both teams are stout and did really good, and we saw a game that matched that. When it's muddy in the trenches, when the trenches are being successful, it's not a clean game. It doesn't look like clean football. So I just want everyone to understand that it was a good effort by both sides of the 49ers offense and defensive line. Now, it wasn't clean. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't totally pretty, but guess what? That's what happens when you play solid teams in the trenches. It's never going to be pretty. So the 49ers were able to get through that. One of the things with Kyle, he just kept running the football, kept trying to establish the run game, which you have to do in this offense. Not only that, you saw a lot of screens today. And one of the reasons why we saw a lot of screens is because, again, that stout defensive line for the Eagles, they were trying their hardest to slow them down and really help our O-line a little bit. And you can aid the O-line by scheme. So it wasn't super pretty to start with. But again, everyone started to settle in. The offense was going three and out, three and out, three and out to start the game. There's no flow, there's no rhythm. It was really hard for this offense to actually get into rhythm, but we saw it start to happen late. Still not to where I think any of us want to see the offense. I would say if we turn the cameras in on Kyle Shanahan and those players inside that locker room, they probably want to see better execution from their offense as a whole. But for the most part, I can't be super upset with the situation. Let's get through the offense, and then we're gonna go over to defense because defense had a fantastic game. Defense, two reasons in a row. I know we almost lost in Detroit, is a little bit scary there, but still, defense is doing a fantastic job 2 weeks in a row. Again, it's playing till that final whistle, playing 60 minutes. We didn't see the explosive game out of Elijah Mitchell that we saw at first, but we still saw a healthy dosage of Elijah Mitchell, and he still ran really well. Even though he only averaged 2.5 yards a carry, 42 total yards on 17 carries, he was still like, again, this is a stout defensive line we were playing against. They were clogging the running lanes. They were doing a really, really good job. Even you go back to the very first play of the game, Brunskill is pulling. Brunskill's not supposed to be hit as a pulling guard, but that's just how good their defensive tackles are to explode out of the snap, completely blew up Brunskill as he's pulling down the line. Just exemplifies how good that defensive line was. Um, Hasty only got 5 carries. He had the best average on the day at 7.6 a carry for 38 total yards. Hasty's a good back for us, man. Hasty is running really good. I love his vision. I love his cutting ability. He can stop and start on a dime, and you're seeing how beneficial that can be for this team. He did a fantastic job. Again, if we're going to talk about rushers, we got to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo getting first downs on sneaks, doing all that kind of stuff. I mean, we were just running QB sneak after QB sneak. Fantastic. Again, having Alex Mack in, because if we don't have Alex Mack in at center, we've seen this team try to execute quarterback sneaks in the past. It wasn't as successful. And when you are stout at the point of attack with a center like Alex Mack who can just drive bodies back, it makes quarterback sneaks that much easier. And we saw that the 49ers were extremely successful today on quarterback sneaks. Hat tip to Alex Mack. That's not just Jimmy's. Good job by Jimmy, but it's not just Jimmy. Hat tip to Alex Mack, Laken Tomlinson, and Dan Brunskill. Those three are the most crucial players on quarterback sneaks, and this team was very successful today. Not only did JaMychal Hasty continue to look good, we saw Trey Sermon for the first time today. Unfortunately for Trey Sermon, he got clocked extremely hard on the back of the head. The second he went to the ground, he grabbed his head, and it really felt like he's heading towards a concussion situation. Looks like there might be. We're gonna find out what really happened to Trey Sermon, and all that stuff. These flies are killing me right now. It's like Eagle fans right now. So it's really unfortunate too, because Trey Sermon looked nice on that carry. The way he got out and got some space in front of him, you could tell he was looking real angry too. He was trying to hit someone on that play, and that defender went extremely low. And unfortunately, it was a head-to-head situation, and it was a fumble as a result. But I can't fault Trey Sermon too much for that. Trey Sermon got hit really hard on the head. Hopefully Trey Sermon's going to be okay. Really wish he had got the ball before that situation. It really felt like it was a setup. I know it wasn't. I know it wasn't a setup. We've been waiting to see Trey Sermon, the third round pick. We wanted to see him. It just felt like, like that seemed about right. Like for Trey Sermon to get knocked out on this first carry in the NFL after being inactive his first week, doesn't get a touch the entire first 2 quarters, and then the first touch of the game, he gets rocked. Um, Felt like poetic justice, but not in a good way, if that makes sense. It just felt like, yeah, we kind of had that coming. Um, Based on how we've been using players. Debo Samuel had another fantastic game. Debo Samuel is proving to be the wide receiver one for the 49ers. We saw Brandon Aiyuk again. Aiyuk was used the same exact way as week one. It's crystal clear that this usage has nothing to do with an injury. This is just simply he is now in a rotation with Trent Sherfield. And if he wants all the snaps, he's got to earn it. We're seeing a situation where Jawan Jennings, he scores his first NFL touchdown. It is on a designed play for the most. I mean, it wasn't directly to Jawan, but the 49ers knew Kittle was going to get doubled and likely leave Jawan open in the flat. Could have been Brandon Aiyuk, but it wasn't. So I think this is a situation, again, if we are switching over to fantasy players, Brandon Aiyuk is unplayable at this time. Brandon Aiyuk is unplayable. He's not getting the usage. He's not getting the touches. So if you have fantasy stock in Brandon Aiyuk, um, it's time to move off of that because clearly he's just not getting the opportunity that we thought he was going to get. But like we said, other guys are stepping up. Kittle had 4 catches, only for 15 yards, though. Kyle Juszczyk had 2 catches. Elijah Mitchell had 2 catches. Trent Sherfield had that really, really strong catch where he got thrown into a huge hit. He was still able to come away and with that one catch. But like I said, there were other targets for some of these guys, a little bit of errant passes early on, but as the game went on, Jimmy started to settle and started to find his guys. What else do we got there from the offense? Coach said Trey Lance played today. He got our D ready. Love it. Good point. Good point, Coach. Um, Obviously, Trey Lance didn't take an actual snap today in the game, but Trey Lance did play scout team quarterback all week and get the defense prepared for this game against a Russian quarterback like Jalen Hurts. So good point, Coach. Really good point. Other than that, more from the offense, I would say if we look at it from a schematic standpoint, it was okay. Like if I had to grade Kyle Shanahan, I'd give Kyle Shanahan like a B minus maybe. Didn't really love a lot of the play calling and some of the ways that they were trying to get in rhythm. It was okay. Again, it is what it is. Take that for what it's worth for someone sitting on their couch watching the game. But just felt like there are more opportunities, at least moving forward, for the 49ers to be a little bit more rhythmic with their play calling. At least that's the hopes. Um, Fred Warner, again, led the team in tackles. Wasn't as uh, many tackles as the week before, but he still led the team with 5. Jimmy was second in tackles. Jimmy Ward, that is, with 4. Deommodore Lenoir was third, is third in tackles for the 49ers. Deommodore Lenoir had a fantastic game. Um, I think there were he got tried on multiple occasions, multiple opportunities that they went after Lenoir, and Lenoir is proving that he is more than capable. Lenoir, as a rookie in his second NFL game, again, he's being tested by 2 first round picks. Jalen Reagor is no slouch. Jalen Reagor is a good, talented wide receiver, second year guy, just trying to get his footing still in the league. And then Devontae Smith, former Heisman Trophy winner. We know exactly who he is and what he's capable of. And Deommodore Lenoir went up against both and played both really, really well. Um, Again, he pushed Devontae Smith, I believe it was, out of bounds on that deep, what we thought was a touchdown, but he was able to. And if you go back and you look at the play, you can see Deommodore Lenoir turn his head for the ball. And so typically when you turn your head for the ball, refs don't key in on the contact that is created as a result. So what Deommodore did is he looked back for the ball and then he put all his weight on Devontae Smith to push Devontae Smith towards the boundary. Uh, I look at that as a very veteran, cerebral type play by Deommodore Lenoir to be able to understand those type of rules and knowing that you're likely not going to get flagged for contact if you are looking back for the ball, leaned up against the receiver and guided him towards being out of bounds. I thought that wasn't an accident. That felt like a real like veteran cerebral, like I know what I'm doing and this is why I'm doing it. So um really like that by Deommodore Lenoir. DJ Jones got a sack today. Jaquiski Tart continues to be all over the place. Jaquiski Tart continues to be really, really solid for this defense. Again, if without Jaquiski Tart tracking down that really big pass play that almost turned into a touchdown by Watkins, the defense doesn't hold him to a 4 and out, and then we don't get the ball back. So again, our defense continues to be stout. Aziz Al-Shaair still had a good game. It definitely wasn't as good as the game he had against the Detroit Lions, but it was still a solid game. And we got our first multiple sack game out of Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa goes for 2 sacks today. Uh, gotta love seeing that. Gotta love seeing Nick Bosa get after it today. Um, really, really good. Another thing that was positive, we saw Javon Kinlaw. Um, Now maybe Javon Kinlaw didn't get a sack. I don't know. I got to go back and watch again to see what pressures were created, if any. But what we can say is Javon Kinlaw is responsible for keeping 3 points off the board. Javon Kinlaw had the field goal block. So shout out to Javon Kinlaw for his efforts today and all that good stuff. So great first game. Again, Javon Kinlaw is a direct effect of keeping 3 points off the scoreboard. An additional 3 points changes this game and the complexion a decent amount and changes the game flow. So shout out Javon Kinlaw again. That is a huge impact. I'll take a blocked field goal over a sack any day from Javon Kinlaw. So shout out Javon. That was a great play. Really, really needed that. And it was good to see Javon back as well. Contavious Street had a good day. Contavious Street was making some pressures. Arden Key had a good day. Arden Key seemed like he was floating around the quarterback a lot. So for the most part, I think the defense did a really solid job. I felt like there weren't as many glaring things that would pinpoint back to D'Amico Ryans. So overall, considering the type of offense that Philly had, the running backs, Keith Gainwell and Miles Sanders are good backs, quality backs, and they had a decent day, and rightfully so. They're good running backs. Jalen Hurts looked pretty darn good today. But again, it's our defense, their ability to continue to just again, we throw the waves and waves at these offenses with our defensive line. It makes it really hard to defend at times. And again, shout out the defense. Without that Quez Watkins huge touchdown, um, without that Quez Watkins huge play, the next highest receiver has 24 yards, and that's a tight end. So I think the 49ers did a really, really solid job on defense, containing these guys. Again, Devontae Smith, 2 catches, 16 yards. Where's Jalen Rager? Jalen Rager, 2 catches, 5 yards. Miles Sanders, 1 catch, 4 yards. Dallas Goddard, 2 receptions, 24 yards. Quiz Watkins is the only one who did anything of any uh, craziness And that was simply because of that really, really big play that he had, which was a nice play and a good throw by Jalen Hurts. Um, so I don't know. It's pretty even game for the 49ers on offense, 187 passing yards, 117 rushing yards still, even in a day that was difficult to get it going in the run game. Still was able to break the century mark, um, for rushing yards. So not bad, not bad. 34 minutes, almost 35 minutes total time of possession for the 49ers, which was almost exactly 10 minutes more than the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that's a situation that the 49ers are going to need to continue and continue to strive for, is just dominating time of possession on the clock. So all that good stuff. Overall, again, as it wasn't the cleanest game, wasn't the best executed game, but as we knew, this was going to be a tough, tough game for the 49ers, and they were able to show up and ball out again in a hostile environment, extremely hostile environment against Philadelphia Eagles. You could hear it in the stands. You could kind of feel it through the TV. It was it was hard for them to get it going, but once they got it going and settled down, got a little bit better. Um, so the 49ers, again, they come away with the W, and again, not the cleanest, but it is what it is. I'll turn it over to you guys in the comment section. If you guys want to ask questions, uh, or just provide comments, I'll pull a couple up. And then guess what? We're headed to Twitter, and then we're going to go dunk on Eagles fans. After this, we're all headed to Twitter. We're all headed to Twitter. I'll retweet the Rocky statue tweet, so you can go look at all the quote tweets. You can go look at all the quote tweets, and we're just gonna start pulling receipts. So after we're done with the live here, let's head to Twitter and let's go dunk on some Eagles fans because they felt real confident. They felt real confident after that Rocky statue statue video came out, and they're big hurt right now. But we'll see. I see a lot of gore stuff. Um, we'll see. We'll see. I don't think we're looking at bringing in additional running backs until we see that one of these guys are going to be out for more than a week. Um, hopefully appears Trey Sermon could be back next week with Elijah Mitchell. Hopefully it's nothing too serious with Michael Hasty. We'll find out. We'll absolutely find out. So yeah, it's going to be, our running back room is the key to our success as a team. The 49ers moving the ball, controlling the clock, doing all these things. They need a strong running back room. So we're going to see how that whole situation pans out. Um, so we'll see. Again, on Johnson's on the practice squad. We'll see if he is available, if he can do anything. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. I see lots of gore. Lots of calling for gore. We'll see, man. We'll see. But how are you guys feeling after that game? Do you guys feel confident? Do you feel like as we head into our home opener against the Green Bay Packers next week, do we feel good? Oh, yes. Thank you, Machiavelli. This actually, I did want to talk about this, but I totally forgot. Machiavelli on YouTube says, "Let's show some love for the Aiyuk fingertip catch." Yes, great catch by Aiyuk. On the one play that he did get targeted and then he did bring down, it was a fantastic catch. It was one of those catches where it's like, ooh, do any other of the 49ers receivers actually make that catch? Based on that particular circumstance, because Ayuk really had to stretch out for that ball, and we know how long his wingspan is. It's probably longer than anyone else on that team, so it's a really solid catch. Would love to see more of him. Would love to see more Ayuk, uh, But if we are, again, there's multiple ways that we can look at this. But if you're looking at it as a fantasy manager who's focused on winning games in your fantasy leagues, then you're taking this information as we're not playing Brandon Ayuk until we have a more clear situation of how his usage is going to be, because he unfortunately just isn't used. Is That's it, just not used. So you can't produce if you're not used. Um, so that translates to fantasy as we're sitting Ayuk down. Uh, Honestly, sitting pretty much any wide receiver not named Debo Samuel down. So at the end of the day, that's fantasy though. We look in towards actual the team win. It is what it is. We don't care. We don't care. I don't care who produces and how they produce. I just care that we produce a W. So again, taking away that side of things and we look at the game, it's fine. I have no problem with Trent Sherfield getting the ball, Mohamed Sanu, Jawan Jennings, all these guys. They're absolutely deserving of getting the ball. Um, we'll find out. One thing that I have we really run the end arounds? I don't think we have. I really don't think we've used the end around or utilized the end arounds too much. I know Debo got a rush or two, I believe, today. But those end arounds that have been so successful for us in the past, we're not even pretending to run those. So it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Um, so biggest factor, I think, biggest keys to this victory today is that hopefully we don't know for a fact yet, but it appears that we got out of this game somewhat healthy. Um, not clearly we saw what happened to Sermon and some of the other guys, and we know the running back room got banged up a little bit, but Elijah Mitchell came back. Um, it's going to be really interesting to see if there was any severe injuries that came out of this game. I don't think there were. Knock on wood. So that at least is a good thing. Um, Trey Lance sitting on the bench, that's a good thing in this situation. I'm absolutely okay with that. I thought if we were going to get back into this, Jimmy needed to get his momentum going and needed to get a rhythm going. So really happy that Kyle actually just left Trey on the field, because there would have been ways that game would have happened differently if Trey was in the game, but he wasn't. So we had to execute it based on the quarterback that we had in the game. I was itching. I was itching because I could see the defensive line and the defensive front seven really clogging up a lot of running lanes and doing a lot of damage on the interior. So I was like, well, this seems like a perfect opportunity to have a quarterback that can run. You can execute the 11 on 11 matchups with a running quarterback. But again, shout out to Kyle for not being too impatient and going to that and just allowing Jimmy to cut loose. And I think this game helps Jimmy's confidence for the long run, because maybe in the beginning of the game when he wasn't being accurate and some of those plays and throws weren't happening as best as he could, what if in the back of the head he's thinking about, am I going to get pulled for Trey Lance? Am I any play now, am I going to get pulled for Trey Lance because I'm not throwing accurately or whatever? uh, so again, these are the double-edged swords of having a two quarterback system. But again, shout out Kyle for keeping Trey on the sideline. You guys know I love Trey. You guys know I think Trey would be very successful on this team. But managing this situation, shout out Kyle for leaving Trey on the bench and allowing Jimmy to get comfortable. The second half, they were much more comfortable and seemed to settle down and were able to get their offense moving in the right direction. It took a long time to get there, but after a while, they finally got it rolling. Um, Bree Heck says, I think Shanahan needs to be held accountable for his poor situational play calling. I mean, yeah, I think Shanahan could do a little bit better in certain situations. Again, you have to execute. That's the other battle of play calling is your guys have to actually go out and execute the play. So of course it's a double-edged sword in that regard. Um, I didn't love the play calling at the start of the game. I felt like it was contributing to the offense being out of rhythm. But like I said, once Jimmy settled down, the offense settled down, the blocking settled down, everything settled into place. And then Kyle settled into place. And then everything started moving forward. Again, that's why I talked about Kyle leaving Trey on the sideline and letting everything settle in. Um, and once it settled in, we started looking like a football team. And those are the things that we want to see. Um, so it is what it is. The 49ers are now 2-0. We have made it through 2 games, 2 weeks. The 49ers are still 2-0. Don't get it twisted, guys. Don't get it twisted. As we get out of this week and we start looking at Green Bay, and then we look at Seattle after that, and we start looking at the meat of this schedule, people are going to point to these 2 games and say, well, it's just the Lions, it's just the Eagles. Give some respect to these 2 teams. I gave my respect to the Lions after breaking down the tape and realized that they had a really good game plan offensively and they executed it really well offensively. Well, this week, their defense was on point. The Eagles' defense was on point. They were stout in the run game. They were making it very, very difficult for us to run the ball, which is what our offense is predicated on. So, again, shout out their defense, the Eagles, giving a little credit, tip our hat to the Eagles' defense and their front 7 for making it very hard for us to run the football. Um, Again, credit Kyle for being persistent and continuing to try to run his game plan. A lot of things in play there. But for the most part, again, got to give credit to this Philadelphia Eagles defense. This defense played a lot better than I anticipated. And that's every level. Even their safeties were sticking our guys. Their cornerbacks are playing pretty well for the most part. I know they had the blown coverage down at the goal line with Juwan Jennings scoring. Um, but for the most part, again, aside from a couple blown coverages here or there from the Eagles, you can look at the Eagles and be like, good job, Eagles. You guys played us really, really well. Um, so it is what it is. Um, Got to give some credit to these teams that we're playing. It's not just about us failing and being successful all on our own. We have to play 22 other guys on the other side of the football, and they're trying to do their job. And the Eagles did a pretty solid job, is basically all I'm trying to say. Um, it was a lot closer than we would have liked, but now, let's see what it looks like at home. Now we turn our focus um, to the Green Bay Packers in the first home game of the year for the San Francisco 49ers. Um, that game is going to be fun. That game, finally, we're going to have the energy on our side. The 49er players are going to have the stadium on their side, the energy on their side. And let's see what the team looks like in that environment because I think it'll be even more dynamic than what we've seen. Excuse me. Yes, I will be at that game. I will absolutely be at the home opener. We we are absolutely going to the home opener. The home opener is about to be lit. It's going to be absolutely disgustingly fun. So I'm super excited about that. Um, And it's really nice taking this energy from a dub and then going to translate that into next week against Green Bay. Um, think it's going to be really, really good game. Um, any other comments, closing comments from you guys? Comments, questions about today's game before we break for the day. And again, we're going to go dunk on Eagles fans after this. So I hope you join me and I hope you have a blast as well. Because I'm so excited to come after these Eagles fans once we get off here. Let's go. We see you, Vanessa. Um, what do we got? Hell yeah, hit me up. I'm gonna be all over the place. Honestly, if you want to meet up with me at the Green Bay, you're gonna have to kind of find me. I don't stop moving, especially pregame. Pregame, I'm everywhere. So you got to follow the lives. Follow the lives if you want to find me. There's rumors about Jimmy being traded. How, when, where? Right now, immediately after the game, we're trading Jimmy immediately after the game. I don't buy that. But we'll see. I don't buy that, but we'll see. Um, let's go. Jimmy's hyped. Jimmy's hyped. All right. Um, who's going to Seattle? I want to go to Seattle. I definitely want to go to Seattle. Um, I want to go to that game bad. I want to go to that game bad. This quote came from George Kittle after the game. George Kittle said after Garoppolo ran 11 times for 20 yards, Kittle said, "Look at that. We have a running quarterback, Jimmy G. I love it." Man, these guys are trolling everyone. They're trolling everyone. It's 49ers versus the world at this point, man. It's 49ers versus the world, including our fan base. I think 49er fans are sick. I think 49er players are sick of our fans. I think Kyle Shanahan is sick of our fans. they're just trolling everyone at this point. They're just trolling everyone at this point. Um uh, I don't even care. Keep winning. You could troll as much as you want. You can troll as much as you want. Just keep winning. Um so happy with the dub. This hat is from Residency. Josh Norman had a decent day. What else do we got? What else do we got? Bosa had 2 sacks and a forced fumble. He absolutely did. He absolutely did. Sorry, I'm looking at some of the tweets coming out right about now. Demo 3 pass deflections. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of boys balled today. How about we do this? We haven't done this yet. Let's do game balls. Let's do game balls. We haven't done this. This just came to me. Let's just do this. Game ball. Offense. Game ball on offense. Who are we going to give the game ball to on offense? We're going to give it to Jimmy. I think we might have to give it to Jimmy. It could be Debo. I could look to give the game ball to Debo, but you know what? I'm going to give it to Jimmy. Jimmy had, again, he rushed 11 times. He had those quarterback sneaks when we needed to have it. He had some throws when we needed to have it. Game ball, Jimmy Garoppolo. Good job, Jimmy. Game ball, Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's go. Second game ball, going to the defense. We're going to give that second game ball to Deommodore Lenoir. Good job, Deommodore. Good job, Deommodore. We're also going to give another game ball to Nick Bosa as well. Nick Bosa, 2 sacks. Let's go. Shout out Deommodore Lenoir. Shout out Nick Bosa. I feel happy giving those game balls to those two. Fred Warner, absolutely deserving. DJ Jones, absolutely deserving. Jaquiski Tart, absolutely deserving. Bunch of guys. But for the rookie, I like giving Deommodore Lenoir a game ball, as well as Nick Bosa. First dual sack game. Yeah, let's give Jennings a game ball too. Since we did 2 defensive game balls, we'll do 2 offensive game balls. Jimmy gets a game ball, and we give a game ball to Jawan Jennings. Great point, scoring his first NFL touchdown. Love to see it. Love to see it. So far, we got the dub. We got the rest of our Sunday to go. Again, if you guys are looking to have some fun, join us on Twitter for a nice dunking session on Eagles fans. I'm pulling all the receipts once I get off here. It's going to be a lot of fun. Um, Shout out to all you guys for hopping in and joining. Uh, we're 2-0, guys. The 49ers are 2-0 as we head home. They're finally going to come home. We're going to play a home game against the Green Bay Packers. I know a lot of you guys are going to be out there screaming your throats out in support of the 49ers against Green Bay. So really, really excited about that game. As you guys know, we're going to be breaking down this game Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and really diving deep into the hows and the whys and all that good stuff so that we can then translate and see how that goes in towards the game against Green Bay. So plenty of content coming the rest of this week. So keep an eye on that and we'll get this thing rolling again. Always appreciate all of you guys for hopping in, listening, engaging, and doing all that good stuff. Enjoy the win. We're 2-0. Let's go, squad. Out. Appreciate all you guys on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You guys know the vibes. You guys see me more than anyone else these days. So we'll be back tomorrow. Uh, Probably breaking down some tape, probably breaking down more updates and things around the injuries and things like that. So again, appreciate everyone who tuned in for the post game show. Everyone have a great rest of your day and go